She didn't flinch, not when they laughed, not when she stood soaked in trench water, and not when the footage hit the barracks like wildfire. Lieutenant Commander Rachel Lane had led teams through desert sieges and snow drills, but nothing quite matched the sting of a deliberate shove during a regulated Marine SEAL joint rotation. It happened fast. Staff Sergeant Mitch Riker pushed her from behind while she inspected gear, and she landed face first in the mud. Phones out, laughter high. But Rachel didn't yell. She stood up, mud dripping, and said 2 words, "Training continues." The room quieted. But she wasn't done yet. By noon, the video had made its way through half the base. Some laughed, some stayed quiet. But others, like Corporal James Vance, rewound the moment again and again, not the fall, but what came after. Rachel didn't scold, didn't defend. She reset her clipboard and kept calling drills. Vance whispered to his bunkmate. She let it happen. At first, no one believed it. Why would a decorated SEAL officer allow herself to be shoved? But Petty Officer Luis Mendoza, who'd served under her in Afghanistan, knew the answer. Rachel Lane wasn't humiliated. She was documenting. And everyone who laughed? They just became part of her case file. The laundry bay was nearly empty that night. Rachel stood alone at the back sink, scrubbing her soaked uniform with slow, circular strokes. No anger, no rush, just focus. Torres, the base medic, found her there. He didn't say much, just handed over a phone wrapped in a microfiber towel. Found it near the bleachers. Unlocked. Full footage. Audio, too. Rachel didn't blink. She tucked the phone into her towel pile and went back to scrubbing. "Let them spread it," she murmured. "Weight crushes noise." Torres nodded, silent. On the way out, he muttered, "Tate's gonna know before those sleeves dry." She didn't look up. She didn't have to. By sunrise, the footage had already been clipped, filtered, and mocked in 2 Marine group chats. Riker laughed loudest. She wanted to lead like the boys, took the hit like one. But across the compound, Commander Ron Tate wasn't laughing. He watched the uncut video on a confiscated phone, the shove, the fall, the silence. "Who else has this version?" he asked Torres. "Just me? And a few who don't know what they've got." Tate didn't blink. "That ends now." Orders followed. Secure the file, send a clean copy to his terminal, and be ready by 1100. Not for punishment, for correction. And word spread fast. By 4:45 p.m., Marines and SEALs lingered outside the base warehouse, pretending they weren't there to watch. The official memo called it a joint correctional drill. Unofficially, everyone knew this was about the trench. Inside, fluorescent lights buzzed over a spotless floor. No mud, no chaos, just silence. Commander Tate stood on a small platform. Rachel Lane waited near the mat. Hair pinned, uniform crisp. No clipboard. Riker swaggered in last, sleeves rolled, smirk barely holding. When Tate announced the demonstration, Rachel didn't speak. She just nodded once. 2 Marines stepped in first, and she took them down clean, efficient, controlled, quiet. Everyone watching understood. This wasn't about revenge. Then came Riker. He strutted forward, full of nerves disguised as confidence. "You sure you're ready, ma'am?" He grinned. No response. Just silence. Tate nodded. "Begin." Riker circled her slow, then struck. Same dirty shove from behind, just like the trench. But this time, she was ready. Rachel dipped low, spun, and used his momentum against him. He hit the concrete hard. She pinned him with a knee, twisted his wrist, leaned close. "That's why you never attack from behind." Her voice didn't rise. Cameras rolled. No one laughed, not this time. Riker lay stunned, breath gone. Rachel stood, calm, unshaken. And for the first time, he looked small. Abonniere den Kanal, schreib einen Kommentar und teile das Video. The debrief came fast. A steel conference room with no windows, just cold chairs and uncomfortable truths. Commander Tate played both videos. First, the trench, laughter, phones, humiliation. Then the warehouse, precision, control, reversal. Riker didn't say much. His usual bravado shrank into silence. "Do you believe that shove was acceptable conduct?" Tate asked. Riker stammered, "It wasn't meant to escalate." Tate didn't flinch. "Intent isn't on trial. Impact is." He turned to the others. "You laughed. You filmed. Article 15 for both of you. Phones are now evidence." Then to Riker, calm and final, "You're suspended pending review." Rachel never looked at them. She didn't have to. Outside the hearing room, the hallway stretched quiet. Rachel walked alone, past officers pretending not to watch. No file in hand, no expression, just presence. At the bench near the end, Riker sat hunched over, shoulders slumped, eyes low. For the first time, no smirk, no show. As she passed, he muttered, "Guess you got your revenge." Rachel didn't stop, but she did glance back, just enough. "No," she said softly, "I got accuracy." Then kept walking, no triumph in her step, no need for it. Across the hall, Tate waited by the elevators. "He'll spin it," he said. "Let him," she replied. "The truth doesn't need help." Next morning, the training yard looked the same. Same ropes, same mud, same sun peeling off the trench water. But the atmosphere had changed. Jokes were quieter, boots moved with care. No one filmed. Rachel stood near the same line where she'd gone face first into the muck 24 hours earlier. Her uniform was spotless. Torres joined her, coffee in hand. "No one's filming today," he whispered, "because no one wants to be in the next one." Rachel didn't smile. "Clean's just perspective," she said. The whistle blew. First team hit the pit. She called the next names without flinching. No warnings, no speeches, just precision, just control. They'd expected her to break, to snap back or storm out. But Rachel Lane wasn't built for spectacle. She was built for endurance, for knowing when to stay still and when to strike. Her silence hadn't been surrender. It had been strategy. And now, every Marine and SEAL on base knew it. Respect hadn't been demanded. It had been earned, moment by measured moment. That trench didn't bury her, it revealed her. And the next time someone even thought about pushing from behind, they'd remember what came after. Not noise, not anger, just clarity. And that was far harder to outrun, especially when it's caught on tape.